As the focus on research and architecture, urban design, planning, and related fields is rising, so is the need to present your findings. But here is the catch. Beginning the paper writing process and creating that first draft is a stumbling stage. Often, the most confusing part is differentiating the content between various subheads of the paper. If you are also struggling with the same process, then do keep watching this video where we provide a quick glance on how to efficiently structure your paper with a link to a free PDF containing a checklist at the end. Irrespective of any field or area of research, one of the most important points that you need to keep in mind while framing the paper is what novel contribution is your paper going to make to the existing literature? Once you have identified that, let's begin with your paper title. A title is the main selling point. It is the first thing that attracts the readers to take a look at the abstract. Therefore, a title has to convey the main idea and represent the content of the paper accurately. Otherwise, it can be misleading and often misinterpreted by reviewers as well. Abstract. Whether your journal requires a structured abstract or not, always keep in mind to match the main content, clearly mentioning the aim, outline methodology, and 1 or 2 sentences on key result of the study. Follow the word limit and be specific with no jargons here. Introduction. One of the trickiest parts of any paper, but can be simplified if you follow a simple rule. General, specific, details. Start by placing the topic in the context, briefly introducing about what we know already about the subject, which should lead to the specifics, that is, a proper justification on why is this research important, or what contribution does this paper will make to our knowledge, followed by details like study aim and objectives, plus sample population and context in a concise format, literature review, or research background. Another tricky part where the whole idea is to present the existing information in a logical progression. Have a basic narrative plot defining the specialized terms while highlighting the gaps clearly. Methods, the section where author's scholarship is most carefully examined. Begin by introducing the context of the paper, sampling strategy, followed by adequate explanation on the reliability and validity of the methods employed. Be specific while writing about each data collection and analysis method. Try to be as explicit here as possible. Results. Many times, you may combine results with discussion or discussion with results in your paper. For the purpose of clarity, I'm going to keep it separately here. Make sure you provide sample characteristics first, followed by explanation of findings from each method employed in logical progression. Avoid repeating in your text the data already presented through figures and tables. Instead, extend the discussion on the same. Do double check if your figures and table are accurately presented and cited in the text or not. Discussions. Analyze and interpret the data from multiple angles and then place it in context of the aim. Most importantly, relate to the literature review in terms of comparisons with previously published results. Highlight the similarities and explain the unique or unexpected results. Strengths or limitations. Many a times, it's good to acknowledge the core strengths of the paper while mentioning its limitations. Although it may not be the case in some papers, but in case it does, make sure to provide directions for future research as well. Conclusion. This is the section where many times authors try to overstate their conclusions. Try to avoid that. Instead, provide an evidence-based statement while mentioning the contribution your paper has made in addressing the gaps in literature. As a value addition, do summarize the implications of the findings to the practical world. Last but not the least, preferences. An often undervalued section which for reviewers constitute a major part of the evaluation. The most important tip here is to cite papers, not only the ones which are significant and latest, but also the ones from the journal in which you are submitting the paper. So that's it in this part. For your reference, I have even included the link to the free PDF containing a quick checklist in the description box below. I hope it helps to form a base for your paper before you hit that submission button. In the next part, I'm going to raise the curtain on the process that occurs after an article is submitted to the journal. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to the channel. I will see you next time.